welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and today on this day, I have a gentleman by the name of Marcus Moore. He is the author of the newly released children's book, inspired by his little baby girl, and he's also the owner of a business called Morehouse Media, and a couple other things that we're going to get into that I can't wait to unpack and learn a few things. But first and foremost, as I always like to do, I want to say thank you, express my appreciation. Time is a gift. Once you give it, you cannot give it back. So I appreciate you making this time for me today. And with that, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And I appreciate the time you giving me your time as well. Greatly appreciate it.
Awesome. So let me start to unpack with Morehouse Media, because some of the aspects of it, or some of the legs of it, branches of it, have to do with today's music industry. And I'm going to be the first one to admit a lot of it I'm naive about, but I'm willing to learn. Usually I research, but I knew I was going to speak to you today. So I said, I'm going to use this opportunity. The era of music that I came from, Too Short was selling tapes out of his trunk, but it's changed a lot since then. So I'm wondering, because I saw a clip on Instagram, Master P was talking about how young artists today don't really come and talk to him for advice. And it got me to thinking, how is it that music artists make money today with this streaming thing? Is it really viable? Is it really like popping these days, or how's this working out?
Yes, it really is valuable in a way. I still suggest, because that's where my expertise with the music industry and everything that I do comes in, where yes, you still should go out and seek help and seek guidance, which a lot of artists are failing to do. So there's a lot of artists that aren't seeing any success because of it. But the streaming, it makes it extremely easy, where you don't have to wait to get it on a CD, put it out there to the masses. You can record take 1 hour to record, put it on the streaming app, and it's out there. And then it generates on the back end of, like, so you may not see any money up front, but you'll see that over time, the more people listen to it and play it, the more you'll just get that income coming in.
Okay.
So,
and then, go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say it. So it definitely is just a lot simpler, where you don't have to really go to the big corporations either. Like, so if you have any type of following, like where people buy into your brand, and once you put it out there, it's like, so you don't have to assign yourself to these big contracts. Or so the most people that usually do now, they do it where it's so very lucrative for them instead of the other way around anymore. So it definitely is a lot more simple.
Okay. Now, I was ear hustling in the store the other day, and some youngsters were in front of me, and I'm 52, so anybody 28, 20 is a youngster to me. But they were talking about, I'm just going to put my music on YouTube and it's going to go viral. And I was like, is it really that easy? Like, it just seems like it's quick and fast. Is it, you can become an overnight sensation like that?
Yes, you can, but it is very unlikely at the same time. So I think that's the reason why you see a lot more of these younger artists. They want to get in the music industry because they say, hey, they blew up on TikTok, so I can do the same thing, which you can, but it's very, very unlikely. It's very hard. It's not as easy as they may think. And that's what I try to tell artists too. Like, it's way more still than just recording in your basement and putting the song out. Not everybody's that lucky. It's like a 1%.
So what makes somebody marketable then, I guess, should be my next question.
I think back then it was more of you had to look good, sound good, you had to be media trained, know how to talk and everything. I think now it's different because of whatever you are on social media, like how you brand yourself. People buy into the brand more now. So if they find you funny, but you're a good artist, and they support your brand, they'll just go and support you just because they support who you are now. And sometimes not always just the music. That's just like a plus. oh, I really like them and they're a decent artist, so I'll listen to it.
Okay, okay, all right. So many more opportunities. It seems like the struggle to make it big, and I guess that's why a lot of people are expecting it to happen for them faster. More people are
Hmm.
thinking they can get into the industry because it was only like a select few that finally made it back in the day. But I mean, everybody has more options now. So I mean, I
Right.
guess it's but sometimes I hear people, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this. Like they come to you like, "Hey, man, I got this. I'm gonna be it," and you're like, maybe you should go back to the lab for a little bit longer.
Exactly. Exactly. That definitely happens. Definitely
Okay.
happens.
Okay. Well, let me move on because you do some other things at Morehouse Media than just the music industry. So, what all happens over there at Morehouse Media?
It's really just almost any media purposes. I'm not gonna say like I'll do like music videos and everything. I didn't. People tried to get me towards that, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just don't have the patience to do that. Just in all honesty, but like I'll do like short vlogs. Um, occasion. I'm trying to get back into podcasting. Definitely graphic designs because that's something I've been doing since a teenager, just
Mm-hmm.
graphic design. Because when I used to do music and everything, I just tried to. I didn't have the money to pay someone else to do my graphics, so I had a computer graphics class in high school. So that's where I learned. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
just make little project covers like while I was in there. So that's how, and that's just something that I've been doing for more than a decade. So it was just more of a that's just second nature to me now. So and definitely, but what made me start Morehouse Media was so I wasn't chasing book publishers all around because like when I was trying to shop my book out and no one was taking it. But it was but then I didn't what made me not get discouraged, if I can may just say, what made me not get discouraged from that is because I know it's my first book. I know it's very hard. J.K. Rowling, she was rejected with Harry Potter from like
Mm-hmm.
they say like 100 publishers, something
Mm-hmm.
like, and then now it's a huge franchise.
Yes.
So I didn't let myself be discouraged. And I'm like, in today's time, same as music, where people are buying into your brand and who you are, I knew my brand of well, not even my brand, just my lifestyle. Like people saw I recently became a father last year and they saw my relationship with her. So I knew a children's book dedicated to especially with a young lady on the cover, it speaks to my lifestyle, what people see, like, oh, he's a father, he has a daughter, and I see the relationship he has with her. So that's what drove that to Morehouse Media. So that way I'm not chasing the publishers all around and where I'm able to put myself out there so it's not anything holding me back. Just so it's no excuse like to hold anything back.
No excuse. I like that. I like that. So let's talk about the book. I Can Do All Things, inspired by Baby Girl. Uh,
I
what
wish I had one around.
what made you what made you write the book, or what how did it come about?
Well, since we have time, I'll go in about it. what 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 motivated me to really write this book? One, of course, to give our Black children a face of you can do anything as long as you put your mind to it. But that in particular is because of just me opening up. As a kid, I dealt with low self-esteem. So one thing I definitely didn't want don't want my daughter going through is the same feelings that I had, because I always say now as an adult, I said there's probably so many opportunities I missed just because of that. So one thing, and Les Brown said it, he said, a child's you build a child's self-esteem between ages 0 and 5. So that's what made me like, okay, right away, I need something where as she's growing, where she can learn, where she knows, hey, just believe in yourself. Believe God will set the path for you, but believe in yourself that you can do it, because I'm definitely going to be there for you, but I just need you to understand for yourself. So when I'm not there, so those are things I want her to know about herself. even without me saying it from my mouth, she can see it. And she can see that, hey, my dad made a book about me. He made a book for me. So he did that for me. So then that way I have this path. So then that way, as the generation goes on, it continues. But it mainly started because of I never wanted her to feel the way that I felt and potentially miss out on opportunity because she just felt like she wasn't good enough or she couldn't accomplish anything. But it's herself telling her that.
I love it. Love it. That's awesome. So what was the process like for you? Because, children's books, that it's complicated, more complicated than another style of book, because you have to find the graphic artist, the illustrator,
Right.
and all of that stuff like that. So what's the process of putting it like together look like for you?
The process was definitely one, making it where a child can understand. So you have to put yourself in that. Will a child be able to read this? Like, can a 5-year-old read it?
Okay.
Like where it's simple, but it has the message. That's definitely a big thing. Like you make it as simple as you can, but there's a huge message behind it. So that process was of itself trying to make it creative enough where a child can picture themselves, believe in themselves, like where they get the message where it's simple that they can repeat over and over. So like the book is pretty repetitive, but it's one of those things like I want the message to be embedded in them that they can do anything, like they can do all things. And it was based around Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So it's definitely so that process. And then of course the illustration was definitely I will probably honestly say probably the toughest, only because you're trying to find the right illustrator, someone who can bring your vision to life, and just that in the process of getting it back, because it does take a little time. So I would say that's just mainly the process, but definitely.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So did you have the words all written out and then you took it to the illustrator, or did you guys work together hand in hand, or how does that work out?
No. I came with the words written down, and then I just brought the idea so that way she knew how to make it come alive.
Okay.
And then of course, like on the back of the book, I wish I had one next to me. Oh, I do actually. I do right here.
Awesome. Oh, look at your girl. Okay, I love it. I can do all things. Okay. How's little mama like the book? Like daddy's book?
Oh, she loves it, but she loves to tear it up as well. But I've gotten other feedback from other people and their young daughters, and one of the first things they say about the character Harmony, they say, "Oh, she looks just like me." Which was one of the most special things about it, because I want them to see themselves in it. So on the back of it, I have a message. I think this is one of the ones my daughter was messing up a little, but it's a message to the parents/guardian, which states, "In a developing world, our youth are the leaders of our future. For them to reach their highest potential, it begins with believing they can. It's best to build that belief and self-confidence early in life. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We can help build the confidence and faith our children need to accomplish anything while God makes a way for them. With support and daily commitment, we all can assist children from all different walks of life. We can help them realize they can succeed any goal they put their mind to if they believe they can. We can help build their foundation knowing they too can do all things." That's the message I wanted the parents and guardians to know, so that way they understand the message behind it. So that way, because the child is not really going to understand that part just yet. So, but just a message for the parents.
So did you see yourself writing a children's book, let's say 5-10 years ago? Did you think this would be something you would be doing?
I don't believe so. I don't recall. I really don't recall, honestly.
Okay.
To be honest, maybe not even a few years ago. Because
Hmm.
even when I was working on another book that I plan to release in the near future, but that's more for the adult side audience. But it was just one of those. I think this book made me. I had to rethink of how can I make people see me as an author, where when I put other books out, they'll buy into it. And then one of the things, so I think this book helped establish that,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
he's an author. He's an author now. But I had to do it with a brand, with a brand and a lifestyle that they actually see. So they see me with my daughter. So it's like they know, they have an idea of where it comes from, like where
Gotcha.
the motivation behind it comes from.
I also, you're also doing something that I preach a lot to people, and that's that we should really look to have multiple streams of income. So we've talked about Morehouse Media and what you're doing there with the book and the music industry, but you also do something that is very perplexing to me in the Black community that we don't partake in more of, and that is life insurance. You have a company that you issue policies for us. So my question to you is, because I'm kind of tired of seeing us have the fish plate dinners and the GoFundMe accounts when somebody passes. So if you could pitch why it's so important, and it's such an easy thing to do for us to start life insurance. What I mean, I remember my grandparents, they were always, get your little policy, it's only a couple of dollars. So what, what pitch life insurance, and why is it that younger folks are even looking at this?
You're absolutely right. And the same reason why you said that, it's the same exact reason why I got into it, is because of when I was learning about it, because I was getting sold a policy, I was realizing how much I didn't know. So I was like, if I didn't know this, how many more of us in our community, as in the Black community, how much more of us don't know this? Like all this information, everything that it comes with, and how easy and simple that it is. Because,
Mhm.
like you said, it is like you can have a quarter million policy for like $15 a month.
Mhm.
And I think with younger people, what I want to preach to younger people about it with life insurance is it's better to get it young while you can lock in a cheaper price, like the $15 I just said. So that way it never changes as time goes on, because it's better to get it while you're young and healthy, because the more you have the health issues, the older you become, the more they're like, oh, well, your life
Mm.
expectancy gets shorter just in the terms of the company. So when you're young, if you're 25, they're going to be like, oh, well, we know they're most likely healthy. They still have a long life to live. So we can give them, because I just want to say, just to put it out there, I have $1 million policy, just to make sure if anything were to happen to me too soon, which I hope it doesn't. I pray it doesn't. But
Mhm.
if it were to happen, I know my family is taken care of after,
Yes.
minus the fish fries, minus the GoFundMe's, because the one thing people don't realize, they may see like the actor from Friday who recently passed,
Yes.
and they needed to GoFundMe. He's lucky that he was in an industry where people knew him, respect him, that have it. So, but that's a very slim percentage of people who actually get the money from a GoFundMe or
Mhm.
crowdfunding to pay for their funeral expenses. And if you go on GoFundMe right now and you type in anything that revolves around funeral expense, so if you put funeral, burial, anything like that, it's over maybe like 500,000 of them. Maybe a little less, but it's a number like that, and it's I'm like, it's just something as simple, if you just have a policy where you can that can take care of everything, and you can have, even if you have a quarter million, the funeral may only cost you like 15,000, so you still have to take care of your family, for
Mhm.
colleges, to pay off a mortgage, anything like that, pay off debts. So you're not dealing with, especially married folks, so you're not dealing with the debt that they left behind either. Now, if you're older, you may not need a huge policy like that, because if your kids are grown, you might be
Mm,
like, and your mortgage is paid off, so you might not need something huge. But that's why we say it's better to get it while you're young. And us in particular, us Black folks, we should definitely have it, because this is where I believe this is what keeps us behind.
mm-hmm.
So sometimes, like, we want to build generational wealth, and that's the main way to do. That's definitely a way to do it, because one thing is guaranteed, as much as we don't like to think about it, but one thing is guaranteed: we all have a time on this earth. So that's why you can help build the generation so they're not struggling. So that's one of the biggest gifts you can give to the rest of your family, to your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, so they're not struggling. So that way they have a house they can come to and that's paid off, and there's something they can continue. They can, like I said, finish school and pay off debts. And so anybody, like, I know a lot of people like to say they want to break generational curses. I like to say break generational ignorance.
That's right.
and and ignorance as in the dictionary version of ignorance of not knowing. So a lot of us don't know these things about something as simple as life insurance, how much it can really help, how it can really affect the rest of your family. And the last thing, especially being a father and a husband, the one of the main things us as men is to provide security and provide. I plan to do that whether I'm here or not. The same way, the same way with this book, whether I'm here or not.
Or not.
So that way my family knows my where my mindset was of making sure they are good. So that's one thing I definitely want to say to our community in particular. Please get life insurance. Even if you don't get it from me, please just get it. Secure your family, secure their safety, and secure your legacy.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, I've always been puzzled, especially when we start bringing children into this world. And some of us tend to focus on giving our children all of these material things, but we don't give them things to secure their future
Mhm.
at the same time. And it's always been very, very puzzling to me. And then also, I'm always the grumpy one with these fish fries. Like, well, if you take all that money with all the supplies you did for the fish fry, that's the money for the funeral right there. Why do we all have to buy these plates? I'm just all grumpy.
Mhm.
Don't make no sense. You should have bought a policy anyways. But it's just something that has always irked my soul. And I come from old Southern, Black folks. You just get your little policy, and
Mhm.
so I was so tickled to see that that's what you're in, and what you do, and to do that. Now, let me see here. You also mentioned the podcast, and I always like to shout out my fellow podcasters. Are you still podcasting?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so what
I
was your podcast, or the topic, or
The podcast I originally had was called King Combos,
oh,
and
love that.
yeah, so it was basically about us, like, just we'll go off any topic that revolves things that happen in the world, our experiences, but coming from a place of where we're adult men, so we're able to be. Because one of the things a lot of people admired us about, some of the vulnerability we were willing to show and
Mm-hmm.
tell our story, and a lot of things people may be afraid of opening up about. But one thing I always believe is, a lot of times when a man finally opens up, his healing process starts. So now he puts it out there. So it's like, you can't really attack me with it, or you have a way of, when you put it out there, now I have accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Now people know. Now it's no more time to keep wallowing in my sorrow or dealing with it. Yes, and we all have issues that we may need therapy
Mm-hmm.
and really need some professional help with. So I'm not undermining that. But in our case, it was our way of being able to say our different point of views with everything things happen in the world, making the younger generation be able to, hey, us men can really come to a table like this where we're not really yelling or cussing. We're not.
Awesome,
We
awesome,
can
awesome.
we can have real conversations that just aren't about sports.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Because I think men need safe space to talk and kind of unload some of the information and to be able to see, brothers kind of together and doing that. I think that's a wonderful example for the rest of them. I just had a thought real quick. You had mentioned earlier about being a husband, and I want to say congratulations to you and the
Thank you.
missus, and I love that. But one of the things I hear often in the younger generation, a lot of the fellows are like, "I'm not getting married. I have no interest in getting married. I can, it's too difficult. These women are too many games. It's too tricky or whatever." Just from your point of view, from the age range that you're in, are men not really interested in finding the one and settling down, or is it, what's it looking like out there?
I think it's half. It
Yeah.
depends because most of my friends are married or
Okay.
engaged. Like,
Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
sometimes it's really just the crowd you choose to be around at the same
Okay.
time. Like, so none of us are big on the clubs anymore because those are
Gotcha.
things we did. But a lot of us want stability. We all want
Gotcha.
to have a family. Some of us have children. Like, so, and one of the main things I definitely started feeling is I wanted to have a family, but I was definitely one of those, even not even up in the church. I always said I have to be married to the person I have a child with simply because I want us both to know that we want to be with each other forever, and a child doesn't make that an obligation. I want us to know, hey, we're not tied in because of the child. We're tied in because we really wanted to be, and
Awesome.
that's what we chose.
Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I saw some pictures of you and the missus, and it was, I just love to see folks in love. So just, kudos to that. I love that. Before I do my random question, sir, I want to ask you a question, because we've been
Hmm.
talking about, we opened up talking about the little one. Um, when your daughter gets to be your age,
Hmm.
what would you hope, if somebody were to ask her, what would you hope she says, if she was asked, some of the lessons my father taught me were, what would you hope she says?
Wow, that's a really good question because I realized I never got asked that. Now I'm surprised that I never got asked that. Wow, what would I want her to say? That I would definitely say, mainly from the book, of course, self confidence, self respect. Um, it's a really good question because it's making me think. Like, okay, that's a question that I might have to write down. Like, what, like when she reaches my age, what, um, definitely. But like I said, definitely self confidence, self respect. Um, I want her to definitely. I just had it. I want her to. I just had it
Okay.
in my head because it's a big one. To me, her judgment. I
Okay.
want her to have the same judgment that me and her mother may have, where we can
Good judgment.
see like who you choose to be around, who
Gotcha.
you choose to end up with, decisions you choose to make, everything. I just don't want her just being like, oh, I'm just, since I'm young, I could just be wild and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just have a level of good judgment of who you, and I know you're going to make mistakes, and those are the things I'm not going to, because I made plenty of them. But just to not be completely naive to certain things. So that's why I say the self respect
Okay.
part of it. Like, just so you're not, you know, just don't be out here being taken advantage of from no matter who it is, or
Mm.
they make sure you lead with respect and make sure people lead with respect towards you. But
Awesome.
that is definitely a good question. Like I like questions that definitely have to make me think that are so important that haven't been asked. So it just brought that awareness to me. Like when she's 30 years old, what is it I want her to say that she learned from me? That is a great question, and I thank you for it.
Oh, no problem. I'm a daddy's girl too. So, I have had those milestones in life. So it's easy for me to do. So we will have to circle. I don't know if I'll be around, but well, I'm hoping I will, but I have to circle around in 30 years and ask little mama, what is it about that? What lessons did daddy teach you? So I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. Now, does she have you wrapped around her finger? Oh, well, there was my answer.
In fact, I get told it from random people that see us in the store and everything. Like she's first child, so definitely. And then I put it like this, she can't do wrong in my eyes. Like, and I can't help it. She just
Mrs. Moore's like, I thought this was my husband. What? Not yours, right?
yep, absolutely, absolutely.
All righty, love. Let me ask you my random question. Let me ask you my random question, and then we'll see how we connect with you and everything like that.
Let's go.
I love that girl dad. So they're awesome. Okay, what is one thing you always procrastinate on?
One thing I always procrastinate on, I'll probably say eating better.
Oh, well, we got to do that. We're selling life insurance. Black folks, especially black men, you guys are prone to high blood pressure and all that stuff. So you got to take care of yourself. You got little mama. You want to see her walk across the stage and the grandbabies and all that. So we got to eat better.
Absolutely. I've been working on it, but I can't stay away from pizza. I definitely drink a lot more water now. Like I really drink more water than anything now. I just can't stay away from the pizzas. I had pizza right before I came on.
Well, I'm not mad. You're from Philly?
Well, I live in Philly. I'm originally from New Jersey.
Oh, Jersey. Yeah, I have some good friends in East Orange, and I have a great uncle. He's passed away now, but one of my favorite great uncles. He was in Montclair, so Jersey. I've spent some time creeping through Jersey in my younger days, but
yeah, I'm from more like the Atlantic City area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so like South Jersey.
Okay, all righty, good deal. Pizza, yeah, I understand. Is that cheese and all that good stuff? So I ain't mad at you, but just do better. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. Well, love, tell us how we pick up the book. If there's some aspiring artists that want to connect with you with some good quality stuff, not some, But yeah, so how do we connect with you?
I would definitely say you can contact me via Instagram, via email at Mr. Moore the King on all social media. Marcus C. Moore on Facebook. But email me, Mr. Moore the King at gmail.com. Right now, Morehouse Media, the website, I took it down right now. I want to do some revamping. So if you want to purchase the book, just contact me. You can contact me via email. You can contact me on social media, but mainly Instagram. That's mainly the only like social media app that I'm on.
Okay.
Most of the time. So if you want to contact me.
Israel. All right. Mr. Moore the King. That is a very significant name, Mr. Moore the King there. The Moors and Kings. Awesome. I love it. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that. But anyway, sir, I love everything that you're doing. Just many more anniversaries. I hope some more little Moors come along. Let me speak that to existence.
Yeah,
some more books and just I'm so happy. I just love to see my brothers out there doing big things. So just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep being awesome. Keep being amazing. Kudos to you. Kudos to you.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you for bringing me on your platform and being able to use my voice.
Awesome. See, you got over that self-esteem long time ago. You just doing things out here, doing big things. All righty. Well, that's all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.